Others of our people turned for sanctuary toward America, where respect for human rights has been enshrined as guiding principle since the days of Plymouth Rock and William Penn. Last year brought arrival of 15,000 refugees whose most precious baggage was the sharp reminder that this nation's greatness has been made by immigrants. All of us were represented at the dock by United Service for New Americans. It's this agency which guides them through the bewilderment of landing and reassures them through the quivering suspense of moments stretching to eternity before they find their loved ones waiting. Reassurance also was given by the words of Henry Morgenthau, Jr., General Chairman of the UJA.
The work of human rescue and rehabilitation, which we are witnessing today, is just one part of the worldwide humanitarian endeavors sustained by United Jewish Appeal. We see here the working out of a pattern for dealing with the international problem of refugees and displaced persons in our own country and throughout the world, which is made possible only because of the private generosity and sacrifice of Americans who support United Jewish Appeal.
Their day of landing starts a calendar of help. First, a wholesome meal that's spiced with demonstrated friendship. Temporary shelter in rooms where blessed privacy is sharp relief to dreary years in crowded barracks. A chance to relax and shed the haunting fears. And then, sympathetic, realistic guidance by social workers trained to help them launch their lives as new Americans, to help them find a job that's keystone to well-being, counseling them to enter fields in which America needs new, willing hands. Most of them, with years lost in concentration camps, need training for crafts they never had a chance to master, or retraining in the skills they lost by disuse. The major step toward full self-support is their resettlement. They must be moved to towns and cities, across the land, where friends enlisted by United Service can help them join their life and work with all America. It was scenes like this, now being lived, which one merely hoped for sustained the will to live beyond a decade of affliction. And it's scenes like this which sustain our pledge that new Americans shall quickly learn the meaning of this land. It's this fulfillment that can force the gates of entry now ajar to open wider, and in so doing, illustrate for other lands the axiom that people are an asset. Thus have been recorded the accomplishments in 1946 of the agencies of UJA, attested here by Mrs. David M. Levy.
Working together, we have achieved a new stature. We have given more than we thought it was possible to give and have found ourselves richer. In this year that faces us, we must rededicate ourselves to new tasks, to new work, to a new communal effort that will transcend anything that has gone before. We cannot, at this time, leave half-completed a task that we have so nobly started.
Nobly started and well done, but hardly well enough, and certainly not done. In council halls of statesmen, their salvation has long been high on the agenda of discussion. Commissions of distinguished men investigate and make reports. But their reports don't make salvation. Instead, with UNRWA out, the curve of governmental aid keeps dropping. When the world cares less, We must do more. Remember that. And remember, too, the homeless on the roads that lead with cruel meandering toward what's still a dream of freedom. Their wandering is whipped by fear and fact of pogrom, by such proof as that at Kielce last year that Hitlerism beaten has yet to sound its last retreat. For us, this moment would be bleak, but for these, our people pausing at Nachod in bitter flight from fear and death in Poland, roadside aid is respite from the black aloneness of all their yesterdays. Their last station on the way is in somber camps our army has set up in U.S. zones of occupation. A name's been coined to label neatly the poison of aloneness that eats away the heart. Displaced persons, DPs, light and easy on the tongue. DPs, 85,000 a year ago. The latest tabulation, 250,000. Correct the books. DPs, 250,000. It won't take a minute. And the smothering despair, closeting their hopes, dissolve a dark to nightmares of remembrance. Even those with sharpest sympathy to weigh against indifference could do no more than sympathize. What can be done? What can be done by us? Listen to Edward Warburg, chairman of JDC, make first-hand report.
The whole picture is that these survivors, this 1,200,000 who have survived of the 7 million, seem to have in them consolidated, intensified the heritage of those that died. It is tremendously important that you who have worked so hard realize that you are not involved in philanthropy. You are involved in the preservation and the dedication of the spirit of a people, this people that will not die.
Not die? No. That core which is their spirit will not die. But what shall be their way of life? The way of free men, alive in hope and dignity? Or life in darkness, clutching to the fringes of a world that shows so little faith to victims first attacked and now the first abandoned? The world is not replying with command performances when called by needs so urgent that unless we meet this deadline, we'll meet still another line of dead. Today, our brothers' courage, their will to live, depends on you. Except for you, they stand alone.